Hey everybody, today we are going to do a faith segment. One of the things that I really bump up against in my job is two really big challenges. One is telling people what they're doing is wrong does not empower them to stop doing it. So, I evaluate people, assess them, and then have to find a way to tell them to change what they're doing, but that doesn't necessarily empower them to change it. So, I'm constantly trying to find ways to stimulate a desire in people to help them make different choices. The second thing I bump up against quite a lot is I can't make people care. And then about the last month, I've really been trying to pay more attention to what people say and how they say it and how they talk in respect to their attitudes towards health and wellness and food. And I'm literally hearing out of people's mouths them say, I don't care. I really don't care about what I eat. I really don't care about food. I really don't care. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't care what I look like. So I'm constantly hearing that word, I don't care, in respect to how they manage their health and wellness and the vessels that God has given us. And that's something else I can't do. I can't make people care. Now, I do try to make a habit of praying for my clients, but I've been going through a study in these two books here. This is one, and that's the other one right there. And so this study kind of came as a culmination of these things. And what I'm calling it is the ant approach. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take pictures of this stuff and of my scripture and everything, and I'll post it so you can see it better. But the ant approach comes from Proverbs 6 through 8, where it basically is saying to observe her ways, because the ant has a lot of initiative, she's very cooperative, and she's diligent. She basically looks at the tasks ahead of her and just gets to work and starts doing what she needs to get done. And this kind of goes along with John 13:17, which says, if you do these things, you will be blessed. And that goes with the saying of you don't feel your way into good behavior, you behave your way into good feelings. So that goes along with the concept of fake it till you make it. You may not really feel like doing it. You may not really feel like eating better foods or making healthier choices or exercising more, but sometimes you have to just step out in faith and do it anyway. And during that act of obedience, I believe God chooses to divinely intervene, and that's where sooner or later things start to change. In Genesis 4, 5 through 7, I think that's the scripture where God is talking to Cain about his, what he's angry about. And I think what he's basically saying is, if you do what is acceptable, will you not be accepted? Sin may, and if you don't, sin is crouching at your door and it chooses to have you. Basically, you must master it. And one of the scriptures that God showed me six years ago when I started Eat Well was in 1 Corinthians, and that's the scripture that talks about, I have the right to do anything, but not everything is beneficial. I have the right to do anything, but I will not be mastered by it. So freedom does not necessarily lie in the exercises of the choices that we make, but rather in the fact of the consequences that those choices make. So while we may have the freedom to eat whatever we want and buy food and not exercise and do whatever we want to do, is it really freedom? If we end up imprisoned by those choices, if we're not pleased with how we look or how we feel, or if we're, getting more and more illnesses as a result of it. So here's the challenge I'm presenting to you this week. It's called the Ant Challenge, and it's a 1-week challenge. And what I'm going to encourage you to do is to consider taking 3 steps as a way to honor God with your body for the next week. Now, obviously, the very first thing you need to do before even trying to take this challenge this week is to, pray and ask the Lord, God, do I have the attitude about my health and wellness and food and the way I manage my body for you that you want me to have? Do I care enough? Do I care too much? Ask God, search your heart, Lord, search my heart, Lord, and show me, test me, is my attitude right? Because these vessels do first belong to the Lord. He provided them to us, and we are called to honor him with them. And there's lots of different ways to do that. And your way doesn't need to look like my way or somebody else's way. So first, I would encourage you to just pray to God and ask the Lord, show me if there's any changes that you want me to make. Show me if my attitude needs changed. And give me a willingness and a desire to make the changes that you want me to make, and then take those steps. So, and they can be whatever steps you want them to be. Maybe one of your steps is to just pray about it every day for the next week. It could be something simple like drinking an extra 2 glasses of water. Whatever you feel like the Lord is leading you to do, just pick those 3 things and do them for the next 7 days. And if you would, keep in touch with me. Let me know how it worked out for you. If you have any questions, if you want extra prayer yourself, I'm willing to pray for you. So message me and keep in touch with me, and I hope that you find this information helpful. Thanks.